Hey, Chris.
Do you guys see me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, perfect, perfect. How you guys doing, man?
Well, we're a
Excellent.
little we're a little starstruck right now. I'm not gonna lie. So I want to encourage the customers on here to toss out questions. We're gonna get started with Patrick and I. Chris, my name is Brian, and then you've got Patrick right next to me here, and we both work at Eagle Technologies. Patrick is he doesn't claim this, but I'll tell you, he is a Chiefs super fan. He's been to all your games. He's one of those guys that can probably remember every snap and every game that you've had, and you'll probably see it when he asks you some questions. But he was at the game last night, so you'll notice when he's talking that he wasn't very happy about that passer, roughing the passer call. Hey, Patrick. But before we get into the questions, Chris, I just want to say that when we started talking about this idea, we all individually wrote down lists of who we wanted to talk to, and no embellishment. You were literally at the top of everyone's list, so we automatically knew that we weren't going to be able to talk to you, right? So the fact that you're here is really exciting. And then we also really appreciate you doing this right after Monday Night Football, right? Yet alone during the regular season. So I just wanted to say thanks before we get going.
Listen, Brian and Patrick, it's an honor actually. And Patrick, yeah, I see you're a great decision maker. Like your your choice of who you choose to root for, and yeah, it's an honor to be on this call with you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Yeah, this is really awesome for me. Like Brian said, I was at Arrowhead last night, and I don't usually sound like this. I'm recovering, from the game myself after that 15 minutes of booing after that. Let's call it what it is, the strip sack that you had. I don't think we invited anybody from the league office today. So if you wanted to talk about what your real feelings were about that penalty, we would be fine with that. But maybe you just want to talk about, what your recovery looks like after a game like last night.
Um, you guys hear me
Yes,
well, right?
sir.
Yeah,
Well,
really well.
let's talk about the initial play during the game. It was a tough one, man. It could have been a game changing play, and the league it's evolving. It's evolving to protect the quarterback. They're paying these guys 45 and 50 million a year, so as you progress, is that it's like they're taking whatever measures to protect the quarterback. So to keep the integrity of the game, I think the league as a whole has to evolve on, especially play calling and the flag calling. The referees are able to determine games now at a higher rate than normal. So with that, I think it's important that they kind of adjust the rules to where a lot of calls can be reviewed, because that's the only step that I think that's the only positive step we can take with this. You look at the Grady Jarrett play. I mean, he basically laid him down and got flagged for it. And, now guys are twisting, turning, tearing ACLs, trying to not step on the quarterback. And it's crazy, but luckily we was able to pull out the win, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Luckily,
Yeah.
but recovery for me last night, I got home around 11:30. I got in a hyperbaric chamber for like an hour. I'm huge on recovery. Got in a hyperbaric chamber for like an hour. Woke up, woke my kids up, took them to school. Stopped by Starbucks. Got me a caramel frappuccino, double blended cream base to start my day off with it. Went to the facility. Got there around 8:45. Got me some cryotherapy in. When they got me a workout in, then I got in a pool and I ran in the pool for like 30 minutes. Got out of the pool, got in the cold tub for like 10 minutes. Got out of the cold tub, got in the steam room for like 10 minutes, and took a shower. Just recently got home. I played a little Call of Duty and then hopped on the line with you guys.
Awesome. Good stuff.
That's great. I mean, that's a lot like Patrick in our day. So, so, one question I had for you is that back in May, you tweeted DPOY. That was all that was in the tweet. And for the uninitiated, I assume that means Defensive Player of the Year. Is that still a personal goal of yours?
Yeah, but the main goal is for me is right now just winning. With winning, I think a lot of personal goals comes with that. But as long as you keep the team goals in front of your goals, then you will achieve your goal. That's somehow how the world works, the universe works. You know what I mean? The more you give, the more you receive. So I give a lot of my personal goals away in order to put the team first.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, I really wanted to ask about that next to last defensive series in Super Bowl 54. You know, after the initial first down, it really seemed like something clicked for the entire defense. You know, but especially you know, you get your hands on the next two of those balls. The blitz comes and Jimmy Garoppolo throws a really uncomfortable throw, and then you bum rush two guys and Frank Clark cleans up the game for us. Really, I mean, I know there was another defensive series after that, but it just really seemed like, as I'm watching that, you guys have got it in the bag. I can feel that you're going to win the Super Bowl. And as a longtime Chiefs fan, it's just amazing. Do in that moment, do you guys just feel it too? Or, are you still relying on the preparation and the discipline? Or, is the motivation the same in those moments? Or do you really just, buckle down and be the professionals that you guys are and keep working at it? Or do you really just feel it like I felt it, man? That was awesome.
I think both of those go to when you account for like the game being played. It's like, when you get tired, you kind of lean on your preparation that you have throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
But in situations, you kind of start to feel things out. I think halftime, me and Frank Clark had a talk, and that I think they had just recently signed Frank. I was going through a contract issue, trying to get signed back with the Chiefs, and we had a talk. I'm like, if we don't win this might be our last time playing together.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked at me and was like, we gotta win it. And I'm like, hell yeah, we gotta win it. So in the moment, I'm like, we're feeling each other like, hey, this is now or never, or what could have been will never be. So in my mind, I'm like, we got to take over the game. Whatever you got to do. If you can't get there, put your hands up. I looking at the little Microsoft tablet to the side, that his balls the trajectory is coming out very low, very low. So I'm like, I got to get my hands up. I got to find some way to affect the game. And I was fortunate enough to hit like 3 or 4 batted passes on third downs, a couple third downs to get the offense the ball back. And it was a lot of big game changing plays, and Frank Clark settled the deal with the sack, man.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we just won a Super Bowl. Yeah, it's like certain times in your career you start feeling things, and you just know in your heart so hard that this is all destined to be.
Yeah, man. As a fan, I felt it that night too, man. It was great.
It's destined to be
Yeah.
super. It's like no matter what.
Yeah. Well, and from a fan perspective, been watching Chiefs 30 years. I mean, that was a huge moment. I still have it recorded, probably watch it every 6 months. I mean, just amazing. And Patrick, you probably watch it when you eat your Wheaties in the morning.
Yeah, maybe.
So I had a question, and I actually had to modify it after last night. So when that roughing the passer call happened, I've never heard such loud booing at Arrowhead, which is a loud stadium, and it went on for like 15 minutes. Does that pump you guys up? Is it distracting? I mean, how did you feel when the 15 minutes of sustained booing went on after that call?
I love Arrowhead. I love the fans, how passionate they are, and when they want to be heard, they will be heard. No ref will stop them. That's why Arrowhead is one of the best stadiums, and we have one of the best fan bases, because they're so passionate about this team, this franchise, and when they feel a type of way, they will let you know. They will let you know. I loved every bit of it. And I think it gave our team a sense of urgency, like, yeah, they still behind us. We got it. Let's go. And later on in the game, they played a huge factor because Derek Carr got a delay of game, which backed them up. Then the grounding call, and I give those props to the crowd, because when the crowds get really involved and the quarterback can't even get his cadence off, that right there is a domino effect. Then you look at what happened afterwards. We went down and scored. So, I think it played a huge part in our success last night.
That's awesome. So Patrick, keep losing that voice. That's what I'm hearing.
I do it every week. Yeah. So, Eagle, we've been around for about 42 years in this industry, and we're partnering with HPE on this event. They've been around since 1939. Now, Chris, you've been on, you're the longest tenured defensive player on the Chiefs, I believe, at this point. You came in 2016, same time I joined Eagle, actually. But being at the same team for your entire career, has it really helped your professional development? Being on that same team, having that continuity with the coaching staff and all those things?
Yeah, it's like being with a girl for a long time. You kind of know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's you I'm happy, you know how to make her, you know what I'm saying? So and that's it. That's how it is in this profession. It's like, with this level of expectation coming in at a Chiefs facility, especially playing at Arrowhead Stadium. You know what's expected day in and day out. And then it's more so of a family environment, which Andy Reid creates, and Brett Veach, and they bring in guys like Spags. I was actually here with Bob Sutton, and it was fun then. So I've been through three clean houses where they just clean house out of everybody, and you're looking like, oh my God, that's a whole different. I've been fortunate, man. I've been very fortunate to still be here, and I love it here. I hope to God that I'm a lifer here.
Yeah, trust me, we feel that way too. That's why you were at the top of the list, man. So I've seen you interviewed a lot, and I know you're this great, humble guy. So I want to ask you, when you have accolades, when you set records, like in 2018, you had 11 games with consecutive with sacks. Is that something you think about? Do you track it? Are you proud of that? You keep those in your head?
To be honest with you, no. I think like my family and my managers, my agents, people I associate with, my friends, they keep up more than I do. They want me to keep all my jerseys that I had a sack. I'm like, it's okay. I'll achieve that again. Maybe in a different way, but I'll achieve it again. You know what I mean? I don't really hold on to because I don't have time. It's like you have a game like that, good, and you have 24 hours to enjoy it, but then you got to focus on the next game ahead. So like after the season, I take a moment back, like a couple weeks back, and just analyze myself how I did. I'm very critique on how I play. I judge myself hard, and I try to be harder on myself, but I never really get back to be like, man, this was what I did this game, because it's all about the next game. And then during the off season, I'm all about how can I be better than I were last year. So I'm like training, watching film, seeing how I can be better than I was this previous year.
Nice. Yeah, you talk about moving on to the next game, and one of the things I wondered about from last season was you guys having to play the Bengals so close to to those games in Week 17 and the AFC Championship game. Was the prep for the championship game similar to Week 17, or were you looking for new or different things that they might show you? And did they show you anything that you guys just didn't expect there in that second half?
I put the game on me. It was two drives that I could have made a second on third down if I would have made the drive, especially the last third down that he took that he ended up running for a first down.
Mm-hmm.
Back, he would have had to punt the ball, and they probably wouldn't have got the ball back again. So preparation, more so when you play teams in that small period of a time, you kind of look at what they excelled in and look at kind of what you stopped them in. So you do the elimination process. So if they did really good on these certain plays in this formation and with these looks, and we gave them this look, then they're definitely they're carrying that on, they're coming back to it. So when you're preparing like that, it's like, okay, you know what you're getting, you know what to expect, you know what they're going with, but they might add a few wrinkles, but all in all, they're still like to do this. This is what they're comfortable with. This what type of situation they want to put their quarterback in when you give them this type of look on defense. So, preparation wasn't hard. We just, as a whole, we didn't execute.
Blame, you put your 53-man roster, you put the game on you?
Yeah. guys like me for during those type of games to like seal the game. And he's in my arms. I got to get it. You know what I mean? I got to get it. And I hold myself accountable for that.
Well, this wasn't my next question, Chris, but I think it segues nicely into this. If you were to ask me like what my favorite thing about Chris Jones is, or what amazes me the most, right? It's watching you play like an intense game, right? The whole game, just operating at an elite level. You're like faster, you got better situational awareness, game intelligence, and then you get to the end of the game and somehow you find this extra gear or this gas tank that you've been hiding, right, the whole game. And then you just do something amazing. And, you know, a guy like me, IT guy, it just really impresses me. And I've always wondered, like, could you quantify where you get that? And if it's just a link on Amazon, I'd love it if you could send it to me. But
I wish they gave those links out on Amazon. I look at it like, you know, I train all summer for me to be prepared for situational football, whether it's like 2 minutes end of the game. How can I affect the game? How can I make a play? How can I get the quarterback down and end this game? You know, they missed a holding call last night on me. And and those are the type of moments I live for, man. That would have been a sack. That would have been a sack, 1,000%. And Coach Reed does a heck of a job giving us situational football. And I'm very big on situational football because when you look at a football game, it's really like 4 plays on offense, 4 plays on defense that make and break the game. You know what I mean? So, hypothetically speaking, if Derek Carr had more time last night, just hypothetically speaking, and he was able to throw and they didn't call that holding call, you know, that would have ruined me. That would have ruined me. So I harp myself on playing situational football and being in shape for a fourth quarter or even overtime, man. I took initiative to hire a nutritionist this previous year and come in and training camp the best shape that I've been in my life and continue to put myself on a schedule to be in a great shape to where these moments don't affect me. I can still go off like I been in the first quarter, you know, I can still play with that level of fire that I've been playing with throughout the whole game and not feel like exhausted or I need to come out for a break.
Mr. Jones, John has a question, says, are you ready to meet them Colts in the AFC Championship game?
That's our resident Colts fan, Chris. I'm sorry about that. You don't have to answer that.
That's a great question.
If we both make it there and we meet the Colts, it'll be a very, very pleasant surprise. Hopefully, I don't get a unsportsmanlike call this time.
So Chris, real quick, I just have one last question. What's a better way to score for you? Getting a safety, you know, against Tua Tagovailoa in 2020, or that pick 6 you had against Blake Bortles in 2018? Or more importantly, is Coach Reed got something up his sleeve for you to score on offense one day?
Oh man, it's definitely the interception because the interception actually made a juke move on the quarterback. With Tua, it was just bringing him down. That's like a sack that I was fortunate to be in that area of the game and on that area of the field. But to their interception, run like 10 to 15 yards and make a juke move, I'm like, okay, that's what I always remember right there. You don't get big boys don't get interceptions all the time. Like so. You're able to get an interception, like, okay, that's it.
Excellent.
We haven't talked about me scoring yet. I play so many damn plays on defense. They're like, we want to save you. So I don't know. We don't know yet.
All right.
Let's ready to pull out something in the red zone, though. We have so much stuff. It's crazy. That's all right.
I already know Andy Reid got like a fade route drawn up for you somewhere.
Oh, over the top.
Awesome. Well, if we keep asking you questions and you have some trouble against the Bills, we're going to feel like we took too much of your time. So how are you feeling about the Bills game? Maybe last question, and how many sacks you're going to get?
Well, I feel good about the Bills games. If you ask me, I never lost to the Bills. Last year we played them when we lost.
Ooh.
I was,
Ah,
and when we played them in the playoffs, I won. So I never really lost to the Bills. And I think when a good team come in as a competitive team as a whole, I think our level of aggression goes up, our level of competitiveness goes up, and it's exciting, man. It's exciting when two teams can clash, and you know these guys. The last game we played, the type of excitement that game brought to fans nationwide. I mean, that was a tell-all game. This probably was the best game of last year I've been a part of and was able to actually watch. I actually went home and watched it. It was like, damn, I can't believe this happened. 13 seconds on the clock. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce found a way to score. That's insane. And then for Josh Allen just throw touchdowns after back-to-back, it was a slugfest. And this is what I'm definitely expecting this go-around. It's going to be a hard-fought game. I look for the fireworks to be going off in Arrowhead. The fans are gonna go crazy, and I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited. I hope I get 3 to 4 sacks.